So one afternoon, I received a notification from Sweet Ajele's channel since I'm a subscriber. She made a video about tomato stew without oil, making tomato stew without oil. And guys, that video really blessed me. It didn't bless me to get an idea of a content to make on this channel, but it blessed my home in real life. So this is the video I am coming to share with you. But in the process of making this video, something happened. So keep watching as I tell you what happened whilst trying to copy Sweet Ajele's recipe. If you are new, thanks for joining, and to my old golden members, I love you so much. And to Sweet Ajele, thank you for sharing your recipe to us. Thank you for educating us. Don't forget to hit the like button as you continue to watch this video. So for this stew, I'm using chicken as the protein. I have my spices, which is ginger, garlic and onion. I poured it on my meat and gave it a stir. The meat I'm using is soft chicken and is broiler. I then proceed to add my Remy spices. Guys, I love Remy spices, and that's basically the spices I use for my food. That's the spices I use for whatever dish I prepare when I want to use spices. If I don't make a homemade spices, then I use Remy spices. So after a while, the meat is ready and I'm removing it out of the stock. And guys, preparing this stew, I was so anxious as to what this food is going to taste like because it's weird. But let's keep watching. I added my leftover garlic, ginger and onion puree into the stock of the chicken. And that is also in Sweet Ajele's channel, the second method she taught us. So I found a little and then allow it to boil. And this stew takes a very long time to get cooked. It isn't fast at all. It's just like making tomato paste. It takes a very long time for all the water to come out of the stew. And the stew is boiling beautifully. So I decided to allow it steam till the liquid in it drains or reduces. Immediately the liquid reduces, I blend my tomato, my pepper, and then I add bell pepper. It gives it a very awesome flavor. I blend it together and then add it to my fried stock and garlic, ginger and onion puree. So I proceed to add the blended pepper, tomato, green pepper into the base and then give it a stir. And this is where you have to wait. This is where the waiting begins. So keep watching. Guys, whilst the stew is boiling, let's grill our chicken. In this video we are trying not to use oil, but because I didn't want dry chicken, I decided to coat the chicken with oil. The first one I did was a little bit too much, so whilst continuing I reduced the oil. I rather dipped my hand in the oil and smeared it on the chicken. So this oil is leftover oil that I had in the fridge. That is why there are particles inside. So it's optional. You can decide to do this or decide to not do this. So I then applied oil on the chicken and then decided to grill. The reason why I'm grilling this chicken is someone wouldn't really enjoy cooked chicken for their rice stew or their spaghetti stew. They would want it fried. And since we are not using oil in this video, I wanted to figure a way out to get that fried texture without oven and without air fryer. In Sweet Ajele's video, she had air fryer, she had oven, but we have grill, and that is not going to stop us from getting what she got. We are going to get a more tastier and crunchy exterior rather than putting the cooked meat into the stew. So for the leftover of the chicken that are very small to go on the grill, I decided to add it to the stew. then proceed to continue to add my Remy stew. The first one was Remy chicken. This is Remy stew. This one I'm adding is my homemade spices, and then I added curry powder and then gave it a stir and allowed it to cook. It took a long while on fire, but at the end of the day, all the water drained. And for my stew, I don't want my stew very dry, so I tried my best to prevent all the water from draining off the stew. Guys, whilst this stew was in motion, my neighbors came around and were laughing at me, telling me that how am I making a stew that looks like soup? So instead of them to learn like the way I learned Sweet Ajele's recipe, they were rather mocking me. One is a lady and the other is a guy. They were rather mocking me. So I got angry at a point because I knew a lot of people were being blessed. Going into the comment section of Sweet Ajele, I knew a lot of people were being blessed. So I was also being blessed. So seeing them laugh at me replicate this recipe, I was like, you guys do not understand. You don't want to advance. You don't want to adapt to situations, but rather you want to complain. This is an opportunity for you to learn how to cook without stew, so that when you happen to go into crisis that you don't have oil, instead of sitting there and lamenting that economy is hard, or instead of sitting there and crying that God has abandoned you to go hungry, why don't you make this stew that even tastes better than the one with oil? So I was frustrated at the fact that they were looking down on what I was doing, but guys, I later ignored them, and then I knew that as long as Sweet Ajele has done it, it will come out nice. So I kept doing what I was doing till the cooking process. Keep watching to the end as one of them is reviewing the food and the taste. And it is now time to add the bell peppers. Guys, this takes the stew to a different level. This is the secret. It tastes so delicious. The stew tastes like a restaurant style stew. I'm not kidding, guys. Sweet Ajele did this, so you can imagine. I didn't expect the stew to taste so great. When I added the bell peppers to the stew, it tastes exactly like beef sauce. If you've taken beef sauce, you know what I'm talking about. And guys, beef sauce is not even made with plenty oil. It's made with less oil. But look at how delicious beef sauce is. And this was very tasty. The pepper was kicking. The spices were kicking. The local spices were kicking. The green pepper was kicking. The onion was kicking, and it made the combination very flavorful. We leave the stew on fire for it to get cooked. The stew is cooked and I've served it in my disposable bowls to go and store in the fridge. So let's serve ourselves a delicious plate and enjoy. And guys, this plate I'm serving is for one of the ladies who said the stew looks like soup. She doesn't have trust in what I was doing. She didn't trust the process. I'm giving this plate. I wanted to serve her good. I wanted to make it attractive for her to eat, because I want her to know that, see, your assumptions are not always right. Thank you so much, Sweet Ajele, for sharing this recipe. I never knew I could prepare stew without much oil, especially tomato stew. I have this mindset that you have to prepare stew similar to beef sauce or stir fry to use less oil. But I didn't know that you could actually prepare stew without the stew getting burnt and it's coming out very tasty, that you don't even realize that the person didn't add stew. It's crazy. It's crazy. Chicken has fat. Not all chicken, but some chicken has a lot of fat. If you use chicken, the fat will melt and then add to the flavor of the stew. That is why I prefer chicken. But whatever protein you want, I'm sure it will work out great for you. I love you guys so much. That is why I decided to try this recipe for you. She's here and she's eating. I thought she would not be able to eat this food, but guys, before I could serve myself and eat, she had finished the food. She had enjoyed it, and even the leftover of the rice, when I added more stew, she quickly took the saucepan and ate. This is what she has eaten up to. She loves it, and I am the one eating with my hands. I couldn't wait to eat with fork. I needed to eat with my hands because the food was kicking. Oh my goodness. Go to Sweet Ajele's channel and hit the like button on that particular video, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, because once in a while I take inspiration from her, since she's the Ghana's #1 biggest YouTuber on the internet streets. I love you. Keep trusting processes and don't doubt. Ask questions and you'll find answers. Have a nice day and a blessed one. Bye.